the more you can leave behind. Skid about seeing, get into your mind. Everything's better when the world is black. Grab fork, make first attack. Lights out! Poke, 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 lights out, lights out!
From the vilest depths of the sewers of hate, it's the video gutter with Gorebeast. Welcome back, splatterheads. I am Gorebeast, and this is the video gutter, the sanctuary of slaughter, the convent of chaos, the asylum of annihilation, the basilica of bad things. I don't know. Anyway, those who enter seek the darkest sides of the human catastrophe. So take care and don't drop your guard, because the fiendish shadows are always breathing down your neck to drag your soul into the deepest depths of eternal torment. But before we get started, let's check out some viewer mail. Yay! It's super amazing! Nobody writes letters anymore. Now, so far the video gutter has only appealed to the selective basement-dwelling shut-in demographic. And that's a tough demographic to crack, seriously. But every now and then, we get messages from our loyal viewers. So let's read a few, shall we? Let's see what we got here. Now, our first letter is from Davey B. from Attica, New York. He writes, "Dear Gorebeast, much like you, I live a confined life, shut away from the outside. Luckily, I'm a huge dog lover and spend a lot of quality time with man's best friend. What do you do to pass the time? Yours in murder, Mr. Monster." I'm not really sure what he meant by that, but look, he made a drawing of a doggy. Isn't that cute? Well, Dave, of course, I watch a lot of movies. We have this show, but I like to spend a lot of my free time chained to the radiator. For me, it's kind of like a warm bubble bath. I've been chained to the radiator since I was 3 years old, and I haven't looked back. Well, thanks a lot, Davey. Let's check out the next letter. This one's from Richie from Los Angeles, California. "Dear Gorebeast, it's obvious that you're a big fan of heavy metal. What are your thoughts on the band AC/DC? They're my absolute favorite band ever. I could listen to them all day long, especially the song Night Prowler. Sometimes I listen to that one over and over and over and over and over and over." Well, it kind of goes on like that. But I gotta tell you, I thought Gorebeast was a really cool name, but you guys got me beat. This guy calls himself the Night Stalker, and that is just so cool. All right, one more letter. All right, this one's from a guy named Gunter from Buenos Aires. It's all in German, I really can't read it. All right, well, you know what, that was a lot of fun, and it's always good to hear from fans. But tonight, we're glimpsing into the heart of low-budget madness. It's the 1985 backyard monstrosity, Attack of the Beast Creatures. Now, one problem I had with this film is that I really want to know the age of the director at the time of its making. On the surface, it looks like this film was made by a group of kids with a Super 8 camera, but I'm pretty sure this film was made by adults. The end credits include a focus puller. A focus puller! They couldn't spring for better creature effects, but they have a focus puller. The production is even spelled out in Roman numerals, which gives it a touch of class. That's why this film is such an oddity. So we open with the survivors of a wrecked ocean liner, the Obelisk, drifting along the sea in a lifeboat. They reach the shore of a mysterious island. In a way, Attack of the Beast Creatures could be seen as an unauthorized sequel to Titanic. Perhaps this is the story of the lucky ones who did make it into the lifeboat. Unfortunately, they didn't fare so well either. Now apparently this movie takes place in 1920, but there's really no indication of that other than the opening title saying, "It's the year 1920." I can only assume that somebody told the director that nobody travels by boat anymore, and that was the solution. But all in all, I mean, it's still as period authentic as Mad Men, although the girl in the yellow dress is clearly not wearing a bra, and that probably means she was a participant in the short-lived 1980s hippie revival. So as our shipwrecked heroes wander around the island, trying to look for food and water, they stumble across the unimaginable dangers that await them. First off, one poor bastard acts a bit too quickly before drinking from a pond. Which then leads to a rather volatile argument involving berries.
Hey, if you want to pick the berries, why don't you pick them all?
Forget it. Just forget it. The guy's dead.
The night scenes are pretty hard to follow. The lighting is so dim and unfocused it's impossible to see what's going on. It's like watching old home movies when your dad didn't realize he left the camera on. Now here we have John Ritter playing a Frenchman. This must have been after Three's Company, but before Stay Tuned. So things start getting bad pretty quickly, and before you know it, they're up to their armpits in red demonic beasties the size of G.I. Joes, and they're hungry as hell. Now this lady doesn't seem to comprehend the imminent threat.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Gordon. I didn't mean to scare you like this, but we've got to stay together.
I'll stick close after this, believe me.
These little monsters want to eat everybody's skin, and she's just laughing about it like she's lost in a department store. Not even the acid death or the instantly skeletonized guy is enough to instill fear. This water fight was probably the only thing the director could have convinced the actresses to do. It's too bad. The beast creatures are pretty cool looking, but they don't seem to be particularly frightening. They're not very strong, and their motor skills are pretty limited. But much like zombies, there's just so damn many of them. One thing I love about this movie is the almost defiant disregard for convincing special effects. Who the hell needs Stan Winston and his animatronic malarkey? All we need is a few actors thrashing about with a bunch of red Barbie dolls, and that's your animal attack. Stick it up your ass, Spielberg. Cram it up your cram hole, James Cameron. We don't need your bullshit monsters, because we have a Super 8 camera and a hell of a lot of woods. In a nutshell, most of the film consists of our heroes wandering aimlessly through the woods, all to the tune of the haunting Casio synthesizer score. I tell you, the introduction of the Casio keyboard was a landmark moment for low-budget filmmakers. Why hire a composer when 2 or 3 keystrokes are all you need for that spacey Windham Hill sound? But in the end, I can't really knock on Attack of the Beast Creatures too much. At the very least, it's probably the best film to come out of Fairfield, Connecticut. Sure, it had no budget, no good actors, no resources whatsoever, but near the end, I started falling in love with this film. I like to think that somewhere the filmmakers are slogging it out as insurance salesmen or bankers. But every now and then, they like to bust out their little movie, and they're the life of the fucking party. Shooting Attack of the Beast Creatures wasn't a waste of time, and never bothering to try would have been a waste of life. So you think about that while you're sitting in your living room, watching hour-long police dramas on CBS, talking with your bland family about the crazy weather we've been having lately. Meanwhile, other cooler folks are making movies in their backyard. Choke on that! Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and come back next time for Bruce Boxleitner, Reba McEntire, and Chad Lowe in the best little slaughterhouse in Texas. Stay gory, splatterheads.